Welcome to Kids Cartoon Stories.
Once upon a wave, far across the jiggly jelly blue ocean, there sailed the tiniest, silliest pirate crew you ever did see. Their ship was called the Giggly Galleon, and it wasn't very big, but it was full of big hearts and big dreams. At the front of the ship stood Captain Bibi, a brave little bunny with a fluffy tail and a pirate hat way too big for her head. Beside her stood Boom, the baby elephant, first mate, who loved snacks, naps, and saying aye aye, even when he didn't know what it meant. They weren't alone. There was Toto the turtle, the ship's navigator, who was always late. Luna the parrot, who repeated everything 3 times. And Nino the cat, who didn't really like water, but loved gold. One morning, as the sun rose like a big orange pancake in the sky, Captain Bibi stood on deck and shouted, "Crew! Look what I found under my carrot crate!" She held up a shiny, rolled-up pirate map, old, crumbly, and marked with a red X. Boom gasped so hard he sneezed. Is that treasure?" Captain Bibi nodded. "Aye, Boom, a real treasure, but it's far, far away. Across the sea of sneezes, past Puzzle Rock, through the Jellyfish Jungle." The crew cheered. "Let's go!" But things didn't go smoothly. Oh no. Pirates never have it easy. The first problem: the wind won't blow. That very afternoon, the wind stopped blowing. The sails flopped like sleepy socks. "We're stuck!" cried Nino, lying dramatically on a barrel. "We'll never make it." Bibi thought hard. "We'll have to work together. Let's row." Boom dipped a giant spoon into the water. "Row, row, row your ship," he sang. Toto paddled in slow circles. Luna squawked, "Row, row, row," 3 times in a row. Everyone laughed, and slowly the ship started to move. "It's working," Bibi shouted. "See, when we help each other, we can do anything." The second problem: Puzzle Rock. The next day, the crew spotted a giant rock blocking the way. On the rock were strange carvings, numbers, animals, and a picture of a chicken playing chess. "What in the wet whiskers is this?" Nino muttered. "It's a puzzle," Bibi said. "To pass, we must solve it." They all stared, and scratched their heads. "I don't get it," Boom said. "Can we push it?" "No," said Bibi. "We need to be patient. Let's think together." They sat, whispered, guessed, and finally Toto smiled. "It's not about the chicken. It's about the eggs." They pressed the egg-shaped stone, and the rock rumbled open like a giant mouth. "Wow!" they all shouted, dancing past the gate. The third problem: the Jellyfish Jungle. Just as they began to relax, the waters turned sparkly and glowing, and out came hundreds of jiggling, wiggling jellyfish. "Eep!" Luna cried. "They tickle!" "We can't sail through them. We'll get zapped," said Nino. Bibi took a breath. "Let's not panic. Watch them. They move in a pattern. The crew waited. They watched. They itched. They wanted to yell and splash and hurry, but they didn't. They stayed patient and slowly steered through the jellyfish, moving only when the path was clear. Boom whispered, "We did it." Bibi grinned. That's the power of patience. The discovery, a new map. By the time the sun dipped into the sea again, the crew was tired and hungry, but their hearts were full. They reached the place marked on the map, an empty cove with no treasure in sight. "Wait," Boom said. "What's that in the sand?" It was another map, half buried under seashells. This one newer, with glowing lines and strange shapes. At the top, it read, "To the island of the forgotten friends, only the kindest crew may find the real treasure." Bibi's ears perked up. Boom's eyes went wide. Nino read the map, licking his paw. "It says we need a bigger ship." Toto blinked slowly. "And more friends." Luna repeated, "More friends, more friends, more friends." Bibi smiled at her crew. "Then that's our next mission." The crew raised their hands, flippers, wings, and trunks in the air. "To new adventures!" they cried. And with that, the little pirates sailed into the night, ready for new friends, a bigger ship, and the adventure of a lifetime.